Hey, how's it going? I'm just making a quick video here. So, data webbing spectrum controls. Toys R Us. Complete perception control for framing, enslavement, mass breeding, and evolution techniques. Year, generation, decade, present, imported evolution spectrums. Influence why. The mass so silenced and sliced. Why the point not concluded? Our government resource fairly bridged? The knowers and the actors paid. Every sellout bred evolution control degree to control this degree buried for past 100 years. These are just spectrum leap points of, like, you know what I mean? How do you call it? Because your attention span and the way you evolve to understand based off the evolution spectrums, based off of everyone else's attention span, based off of the insertion points, and based off of the collective evolution advancement and alinities to it. So it's basically just networking to completely restart evolution of incorporation and understanding to it to delay the slips, which is everybody, because everybody's under misinformation. Um, Hang on, we're gonna get some shit done today. Blind but prepared prior. Family webbing, data webbing, survival, security, um, throttling, or penny throttling point deductions. Complete case throwouts, fake case throwouts, on system stolen taxes, on path to increase slave debt sponging, throttling, or, obviously extortion and embezzlement. This they use biology and rigged evolution pathing. Um, I don't know if this is agoint. All form start like warfare. Can't remember what that stands for right there. Hidden pact or hidden pawn slave village storylines, misinformation start points, server data tracking misinformation control, human slave cattling control data links, double storyline escape routes, lab slave control drugs, uh, hidden server hidden favor rings, system NDA, what is this? Non-disclosure, assassin family hostage stringing breeding, generational enslavement, generation story and evolution birth points, evolution spectrum, looping, delaying, access evolution, rewrites, truth control, for, well, masses, obviously, social masses. But what is this? It's a burial for control burial, for truth control burial. Okay. Um, Abuse point, generation story, evolution access point, abuse points, development control, framing, plagiaristic control. What is this? The chains of writing. Unders, towing, tracking. What is this? Evolution and multi-conclusion dodge for one percenters. History, triangulation, development, webbing, rearrangement, culture, connection, relativity, dodge points, status points, positions, shift, proxy, bridge, communication, lines, genius, hostage slash baby hostage. So they use, like, youth, generation, like, you know what I mean. If they're gonna use you as a political pawn, for instance, they're gonna make sure you breed first and all sorts of things. Plagiarizing gangs, framing occults or families, worshiping weird, royal background stories. Basically, the royal background shadows are just like Bitcoin chips or type shit. It's like a control chip. They already do, different chips for that, but you know what I mean. Plagiarizing gangs, government server, security locks. Yo, chocolate and beetles, am I right, though? And then, like, the things to control beetles, and basically the biological components and the targeting systems behind it. Conclude without your mass fragments, right? So that's a big one. If you're ever going to conclude in any sort of mass, they're going to neutralize that. Mutual, natural, neutral, normal, no taste, no flavor, all side, no side, control points. How to cattle humans, elusive, access, abuse points, what they allow to be taught, delaying, and the laying process to information like that. Let's talk about like Murray McKinnon. Let's talk about like, you know what I mean, what they do to like track and like. So basically, well, they'll tag a nigger, right? And what they'll do with that is they'll give him a false charge, right? And what they're doing with that is just so they can target him, follow him, and and say, oh, they have a case or this and that, so they can literally just use him as a political pawn. So like Nathan Lopez, Cody Shaw, Caitlin Holman, you know what I mean, that type of thing. Jordan Palmer, Shannon Rogers, Ernesto Zoido, both the father and the son. You know what I mean, get them in there. And Ernesto Zoido's his brother, is a Hollywood star. He got into drugs and whatnot back when they were younger, and that's how they got into El Chapo's assets and turned the whole thing against him. Basically, it's pretty much like his brother was meant to die selling drugs, but he didn't. My brother did. And what they do is they, anything they go through, they have the opportunity to pull a favor ring for like, hey, punish them that way, or like, torture these people. You know what I mean? They do all sorts of shit like that. With the fucking orphanages, native orphanages, different slave village orphanages, and like politics mixing with that, because realistically you can rewrite any generation on that. Jordan Bint, a police officer they used for derailment, and child traffickers, all of them. I'm supposed to keep shush about the family druggers because they're currently have my whole family hostage. That's the most important thing, is that right now it's like my family and me are hostages, right? The municipality's police sons, Mason, blackmailing Ian, Steven, Jose Elgato, Luca, Dylan Sims, Jordan Palmer again. Like, they try to dodge a lot of network streaming for Susan Jacobs favoring and Verge Hunters. Alexia Lee, like they do back and forth. They know the whole political spectrum, like lickety split. You know what I mean? All they have to do is two certain angles, but they take advantage of it, and it's kind of just like a part of the bigger web spectrum, because they're utilizing the web spectrum, so it becomes obvious. You know what I mean? But they're not trying to let the people ever come to that conclusion that what they're doing is so obvious, and you can notice who's the hostage, kind of like me, or the slave like me. Representation perception is a big thing. I don't know about like the Make-A-Wish people and their involvement in it, but most of these companies out here are like, they're just cover-ups for bigger organizations and rings that are going on. So that's what's going on with that. I don't know what else there is really. It's all just the same shit in a sense. They're just, you know what I mean? You'll spend your time evolving based off of each of these setups, and then you'll come to the same funnel point conclusion that they're just for control, And that's what that is about. Gotta get to 10 minutes here for that monetization, I'm trying to run that out. Genius plagiarizing, framing, that format's already just obvious. Bloodline chaining, slave villages. So what they do is a lot of the slaves here are binded from back home, but they don't even know that they're binded. So most people don't see how they're binding everybody and like holding everybody hostage. So the importation game is really important for it, right? All these family feuds, and they'll turn you against people. They'll make your enemy pretty much, and then the next thing you know, your enemies are your only friends, and we're only your only friends, and the whole time you guys are being misled. But that also comes to your advantage when they need to bind networks and recut them loose, etc. For loose end cutting and all whatnot. The pimping data, whatever, their fucking family ties, their favorings, their illusion, their elusive take point on it, because they're all tied in it and all on it. So it's like, it's whether or not they want to, kill them and just decide to become, millionaires and start afresh and create a real reality based off of real things, not just, the favor of them. There's some other things that are very important. I think that, they can't really see the Citadel evolution standpoint, and are also just using the advanced evolution congruence of it to downwardly dumbfound and dumbwit anyone who tries to oppose, because they're already aware that they're evil, and they're already aware that they have every good plan stolen from every dead slave. And yeah, everything is just an evolution that already happened, and we're just evolving in a pattern because Toys R Us. And yeah, that's it.